Hello everyone, this is Frank Demora. I'm going to bring you some information about the Middle East, which is very, very important because one of the prophecies that I talked about yesterday, as you'll see from my post yesterday, I gave you some information about Bashar Assad and how last year, almost a year ago, he stressed that if he was attacked by foreigners trying to oust him from his regime, that he would attack Israel. And this is the warning that I gave on my post yesterday, which is the 26th. There's a video there. If you don't know anything about Bible prophecy, you might want to watch this video because the news today relates to what I was talking about yesterday. Now let me go over to that report that I'm talking about today. You'll see it here. It says attacking Israel would be self-destructive act for Assad. Washington is facing growing pressure to punish the Syrian regime for last week's chemical massacre on the outskirts of Damascus. And the U.S., now sensing it has no option but to act, is likely planning its military strike. Any U.S. military step will probably serve as a slap to the Syrian regime, but won't go as far as toppling President Bashar al-Assad from power. Hence, it would be an act of self-destruction on Assad's part to drag Israel into the conflict. For any direct Syrian retribution against Israel would endanger the very existence of the embattled regime in Damascus. Now, with Damascus in control around 40% of the Syrian territory, dragging Israel into the Syrian civil war would tip the scales in the rebels' favor and would be an act of madness on the part of the Syrian dictator. And I told you before that if he feels entrapped, that he was going to lash out at Israel. Now watch this. Nevertheless, the defense community, always aware that normal rules of logic don't always apply in the Middle East, is quietly factoring in the possibility of retribution attacks. Now this is what I was concerned about last year. Now the past few days have seen Iranian and Syrian officials issuing threats to spread the fire, look at this, spread the fire to Israel. And although the threats are unlikely to materialize, their words cannot be entirely dismissed. Limited indirect retribution attacks through proxy terrorist organizations also means remain a possibility. Ultimately, the last thing Assad needs is a juncture to provoke a Israeli response against him. This is what I have been warning. And if America, now one of the things that I was thinking about today concerning the President Barack Obama, we know that from Psalm 83 there's going to be an attack. We know Syria is going to be involved in that attack. Now I can't tell you for sure because we just don't know. But something is going to cause this attack to come, and I believe it's going to come quickly, just like a woman in birth pains. So if Barack Obama goes in, now you have to understand Barack Obama's influence in friendship with Israel is not good. It hasn't been good. We have a president that's almost been in the presidency now for almost 5 years. He did not visit Israel at all in the first 4 years. And he's been there, I believe, once since he's been president. With all of the crisis going on, you would think that the man would want to go there more often, spend a lot of time there, but he hasn't done it, simply hasn't done it. And since the second time that he's been elected, he has actually taken funds away from the Israeli military. He stopped giving them as much funds as the United States were giving him. So he's showing favoritism towards the Palestinians and the Arabs. We see this as a pattern since he's been president. Now, if President Barack Hussein Obama is in fact looking for a way to get rid of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israelis, because there was an article out that said that he couldn't stand talking. One of the things that Barack Obama couldn't stand was that he did not like talking at all to Benjamin Netanyahu. Now get this. What if the United States moved in knowing that Bashar al-Assad would attack Israel? Because that's what he said he was going to do. So it's almost like the President of the United States, knowing that this cornered leader said that he would attack Israel, it's almost like this is what he wants. Maybe this would be a way that we can get rid of Israel. Only God knows what the United States is thinking, but anybody who knows, and this is why when I read this in the article, when it said, the defense community always aware that the normal rules of logic don't always apply in the Middle East, I really have a strong suspicion that it is very possible that the way the Psalm 83 war will start is with Bashar al-Assad making moves on Israel. Now, if he does make a move on Israel, when he sees his people being bombed by whether it's the United States jets or whatever, if they're outside forces, if he makes a move on Israel, then all bets are off. Attacking Israel would be a self-destructive act for Assad. And when you read Isaiah chapter 17, verse 1, and it says Damascus will be left in a ruinous heap, you're not kidding. It would be self-destructing. Now, here's the other factor. If, keep in mind, I'm saying if Bashar al-Assad were to attack Israel, then Israel would definitely respond in force, massive force. And that being said, I believe that the Arab brothers, who are presently right now not too happy with Bashar al-Assad, but if they saw Bashar al-Assad attacked by force by the Israelis, they're liable to jump in to the war, and we'll see Psalm 83. Only God knows if that scenario is going to happen, but right now, that's where it's going. That's the direction that we see that it's going. So we really need to be paying attention to what's going on over there.